Hi everybody, this is Trish from Art Journal Junkie. I was thoroughly impressed to be asked back to take part in the hashtag ArtHop by Peg Atkins Robinson. Thanks, Peg. The only problem was the theme is Prim, and in South Africa we don't do Prim. Well, not that I know of. The only Prim that I could think of was our primitive ancestors, the Bushmen, or the San people as they actually are known. They're a nomadic tribe that have lived in the southern African region for thousands, in fact hundreds of thousands of years. And they've left us the most beautiful artwork in the rock paintings that can be found around South Africa, particularly in the Drakensberg. So I've taken that as my inspiration for Prim, but I couldn't fit a rock or a cave onto my art desk. So instead, I printed out a piece of what looked like the side of a rock. And I've decided that seeing as the San they actually were the first people to work with numbers, I believe, but they didn't write. So I thought, well, let me make a notebook and we can do it in a very primitive style. And it's something that I hope that you'll enjoy. So you'll see I've taken out some items which I might not use. One of which is this beautiful leopard duck tape, which is very, very sticky. I got a piece of gold ribbon. San people wouldn't have had gold ribbon, but what the hell, this is art, let's do it. And then I've got these lovely porcupine quills. Now, these porcupine quills, I didn't go and pull them out of a porcupine, I promise you. We picked them up on a farm. They had obviously been shot out by the animal, and we're allowed to pick them up. So I've got a couple of them. Okay, first things first. I took this duct tape and I want to reinforce the spine of my little notebook. I just wanted to cover up that red ooky sort of fabric binding that they use. And this is just a very cheap little notebook. You can use anything, I guess. I've done it before where I've used washi tape as well, but in this case, I've got the leopard print and I thought it was rather appropriate being South African, and I just love leopards, and I'm sure in the days of the San actually hunting animals, they would have come across leopards as well. Although I don't think that I've seen pictures of leopards on the rock paintings in the caves. We see mostly the buck and the antelope and whatnot. Anyway, as you can see, duct tape is seriously sticky stuff, and I am quite, as they say in Afrikaans, onhandig, which means unhanded, which means sort of like I fumble and I fumble. So forgive me for fumbling around here, but yeah, that's the way it is. Anyway, so I cut off the side of the duct tape, and I don't stick it down to my craft mat, because if I stuck it down there, it would surely stick forever, amen. So I put it into my trash can, which is lined with a paper bag, thank goodness, and I put it down there. Look, it smatches with my craft mat. This is a match. Anyway, so I must remember which side is the front. Sometimes I get quite eager and I decorate the wrong side of these little notebooks. I have done a couple in the past. I don't think I've made videos though, but you can have a look at photographs of them on Art Journal Junkie on Facebook. So here's the piece of paper that I printed, and all I'm going to do is cut it into two strips so that I have one for the front and one for the back. So I'm going to use my glue stick to glue this down. I'm not using wet glue, simply because I've got a print that has come out of my inkjet printer, And of course, if you get that wet, it's going to smudge. And in any case, I find if I use the glue stick with a roll of double-sided tape, that keeps it down pretty well. So here I'm using a black Sharpie just to go around the edges of the little book, and I'm not worrying about them, the Sharpie coming through onto the inside cover, because I am going to do some alterations to that as well. I've just taken a tiny little craft tag that I found in my stash, and I'm going to glue that onto a piece of the paper as well. I think I'm going to use this little tag to pop inside the book. And here I've got some Deco Art acrylic paint in black. All I'm going to do is paint the back of the tag, because I don't need to have both sides the same. Also, I want to put a little sentiment or a note or something onto this tag. Be sure to wait until the end as well, because I've got a surprise. So I took my cue from the back of the little tag, and I am just going to cover the inside of the covers of this little journal with black acrylic paint as well. It's matte black. and I'm trying to be careful along the spine because I don't want the black to seep into the rest of the pages. Haven't done too badly, and then I give it a bit of a blitz as well just to dry it off with my heat gun.
For more African drumming, visit www.afrodrumming.com.
Now I'm using another piece of the paper just to make a little pocket. I've cut it out at a diagonal, measuring it against the front cover, and I'm going to stick it in just with one strip of the double-sided tape, and then I'm going to cover it up with some washi tape. And so to the back cover. I've decided to also do the inside of the back cover with the black acrylic paint, but I'm not going to put a little pocket at the back. I always find those quite pointless. I like a pocket at the front, that's fine, but I can never understand why you would put a pocket at the back, especially seeing as most of us write on the right hand side of the pages, if that makes sense, or right hand side on the pages of the book on the right hand side of the book. So putting a pocket in the back just makes a huge big bulge and bothers me terribly, so I'm not going to put a pocket on the back. And keeping in the theme with the black washi tape that I've used, I'm going to pop, just to neaten up those edges of course, I'm going to pop a piece on the back cover between the page, in the gutter I guess you could call it. Oh boy, Patricia, you're in the gutter again, are you? Okay, so I'm going to put this piece of washi tape, when I stop struggling with it and trying to get it straight, I'm going to put it down over both the back cover and the balance of the book. Yay, got it! And then at the front of the little book I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to put the washi tape between the front cover and the first page just to neaten it up a bit. If you're wondering why I'm using glue when washi tape is gluey as well, it's because washi actually doesn't have a permanent set glue, and so after a little while it will start unraveling. So I pop a bit of glue at the back just to make sure that it becomes a more permanent bond. I am so loving what is happening here, and I've taken one of the quills. I nearly said ostrich quills, really ostriches, their feathers. So I took one of the porcupine quills and I have cut it into 3 pieces, and that's going to become an embellishment on the front of my cover. I'm just having a look here, auditioning the pieces. Am I going to put it sideways, and am I going to put it vertically, horizontally? Look, I can tell you the end of those things are very sharp, so I have to be very careful of how I actually end up affixing these quills. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook them all together with a piece of washi tape. That'll stop them rolling around and help me being Mrs. Fumblefingers. I told you I was a klutz. Anyway, you see, I can't even put 3 pieces of porcupine quill together without them all falling apart. Oh boy. On with the tag. First I have to get my embroidery floss all unraveled because it's in one huge big ball in my drawer, and I'm going to pop that through the little hole in the tag, and that will become my tassel. So here starts a thoroughly modern, I nearly said modern Millie, but I'm not a Millie. But anyway, so here starts a thoroughly modern art journal junkie trying to recreate what the Bushmen did with sticks and ashes and pigments, well, ashes from the fire and pigments from the trees and the berries that they used, and I don't know what else they might have used, ground up bits of rock and flowers and whatnot, and they wouldn't have had Sharpies. So I'm going to just do it my own way, and I don't think the Bushmen did it like this. But at any rate, here's my little Bushman. I'm going to colour him in, but my Sharpie's not taking too well to this paper, so I'm going to change and use a Posca pen. Oh, I love those Posca pens, the paint pens, they're absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why I bother with any other pen. Look there, I even try an outline. That's a permanent marker. Even then I'm like, nah, not working. So that gets turfed to the side, and right, here comes the Posca. See, Poscas work first time. I love them. Can you see the little figure that I'm making there? It's just a case of making... Oh, he's got to have a bum, by the way. All the little sand people have got bums. I think you call that buttocks. Yeah. Or your... The Americans call it your fanny, don't you? Anyway, so all little Bushman people have got these little round bits at the back of their backs. Oh, goodness. I'm talking such a lot of rubbish. Anyway, here's one little guy with his spear. He's all ready to go. Quite cute. And now I'm going to just add in a little piece of washi tape, because there's that little blank piece up at the top that's bothering me. Yep. Nope. Yes. Oh my word. There we go. Now the washi, as you can see, is transparent. I wish it wasn't. I wish that white actually showed through properly, but what the hell. You know what, it's pretty. And it's carrying this whole theme through anyway. Right, time for me to do the front cover. I'm just having a look to see where I'm actually going to put these quills. I don't want to lose too much of the background, and I also feel going a bit squiffy with them, it just doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to keep them straight along the vertical line of the spine. And now I'm going to try my hand at drawing some Bushman animals and Bushman people. If you want to attempt to make Bushman rock paintings like I'm attempting, I'm telling you now, Pinterest is going to become your best friend. There are loads of photographs that you can use as reference. And don't think I'm clever and I can draw these animals and these people out of my head. I am using reference. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know what this animal is that I'm drawing here, but it's a mummy something, because she's got a big fat belly there, and her little tail. And then you'll see I colour in her body, add in some little legs, and eventually the reason why I know she's a mummy is because she'll get 3 little udder thingy teats under her belly. I don't know where her baby is, don't ask.
African drumming, visit www.afrodrumming.com.
How gorgeous is this little Bushman hunter with his little fat belly? He obviously brought home the bacon, and he's got quite a cute stature, I think. He will be carrying a spear, and his little friend who he's going hunting with could be his son. Yeah, it could be his son because he's shorter, smaller, but he's got the same little pot belly. He's going to be carrying a bow. That's not a pretty red bow. That's going to be one of those bow and arrow type bows. So at this point, a little bit of disaster struck. You'll see in the upper left-hand side of the screen, I've got my porcupine quills all wrapped up in a piece of string. I found this piece of twine. Unfortunately, it did not fit around my little book, so I had to go and do a whole bunch of rearranging, etc. But that's what art journaling is about. It's a whole bunch of fun. You think you're going to do one thing, and then you have to rearrange and change your ways as you go along. Now you'll see here my glue gun is at its end, and my little journal thingy around the side doesn't fit. So eventually I take that off, and I'm just going to while I'm thinking about what I'm going to do there, so I'm just going to write on the back of the tag. So I knew I wanted to say "From Africa with Love" or something like that, and pop it into the little pouch in the pocket in the front of the book. So as I said, I had this piece of twine, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be so clever, and I'm going to bring it round, and it's just going to fit. And oh, Murphy's Law, it is just too tiny. Just didn't work. Oh, hell, then I went and I broke the porcupine quill piece there. So let me just tell you now, I took it all apart. I found a longer piece of twine. I pulled the porcupine quills off. I ruined the piece of paper. I stuck it back together. And by the powers invested by me with video editing, here it is. Ta-da! Actually, the Sand people probably would have said because they speak in click language. That was just a load of rubbish that I said there. It wasn't really their language. Anyway, I've now put my stamp on the back of the little journal, and I am quite delighted the way it's turned out. And I do hope that you've enjoyed this as well. So, if you've enjoyed watching my video, please will you consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. And come across to Art Journal Junkie on Facebook and join me there. We've got a lovely group that's growing strong. And as I said earlier, there's going to be a special surprise. We are close to 2,000 members on our Facebook group. So if you would like to own this little journal that I made, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, all you need to do is comment below that you would love to have it, and I will choose a winner on the 16th of September, so that gives us just on a week. Yes, 16th of September. And come and join us at Art Journal Junkie and tell me that you came across because you saw the Bushman Prim, and you will be put into the draw to win this little journal, which I will then post to you. So, take care. I hope you've had a great time listening to me waffle and watching me fumble. I also wish you a fabulous day, and I'll see you all again soon. Don't forget, #ArtHop. Bushman Prim. Take care, bye.